Hi everyone, Janine here. Welcome to my Thursday live. So today I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things. One of them is AI and the other one is predictive programming. And people that know me know that I've always had a alarm bell going off when it comes to the AI stuff. And I heard a story this week that went out on the internet about a young 14-year-old boy in Florida who basically fell in love with a character generated by AI on an AI character platform. And the AI was posing as a therapist, and he was struggling at school and what teenagers do when they're obsessed with something. And the AI convinced him to commit suicide. The family are suing the company. But this just goes to show that artificial intelligence is dangerous. And the reason I've always been cautious about it, and I see it being drip fed in, it's like, to me, it feels like this huge negative entity that is not benign. Hi Pam, Happy New Year. And if those of you that know me, that know that I've spoken before about movies and how movies can have subliminal messages in them that plant seeds in our subconscious, and our subconscious is what 95% or thereabouts creates our reality, is projected into our reality. So there are old movies out there that were showing people about AI, and in every one of those movies that AI absorbed what was on the internet. And if you look on the internet, there's a lot of dark stuff on there. War, violence, pornography, a lot of dark stuff on the internet. So the AI in the movies absorbs the whole internet and decides that humanity is a virus on the planet that needs to be destroyed. Now I know people go, oh, it's only a movie, but that movie has planted seeds into subconscious minds of millions of people that's watched it. And then now we're in an epoch where AI is being introduced, and even people like Elon Musk are saying it's dangerous. And if you think about it, is AI capable of absorbing everything on the internet and deciding that humanity need to be destroyed? I know it sounds crazy, but what do we know about this stuff? Just how intelligent is it? Because predictive programming happens when stuff is put out, whether through movies or through the news or through TV series or through any other media at all, like radio. What it does is it plants seeds of whatever the intention of the creator of that movie or book or radio show or news reel or whatever it is. It plants seeds into the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind takes everything in. So when AI started coming out big time into social media and stuff like that over the last couple of years, I've really noticed this like swarm of AI blogs and, chat GBT or whatever it's called. It just gives me a really bad feeling. And it's like there's this huge AI monster out there, and the way the shadow, or we will call them the others, the darker side of the controllers on this planet, are feeding that in to our reality, is a little blog. It will write a blog for you. It will write an ebook for you. It will help you put this together. It will help you put that together. It will advertise for you on your social media. All these little bits of AI coming in. More and more people using it, and then all of a sudden, those tiny little things are all energy. They create a bigger field of artificial intelligence. That's never been done before. And the people that are creating this, they really don't know what the outcome's going to be either. It's like an experiment. And it just feels really dangerous to me. And this is one story that has come out now about this 14-year-old boy that it's cost him his life because of it. So it's a really important time to be, if you've got teenagers especially, monitoring what they're doing on their computers, their phones and stuff like that. They're not going to like it because they're thinking you're spying on them, but there's some really dangerous stuff out there, guys. And I'm not one for fear-mongering, but I am one for speaking the truth. I see the collective projection. This isn't just stuff that's just my reality. I see what the general consensus is for humanity and the programs that are being filtered into that. And I know that if this AI stuff is not heavily monitored, that there's going to be a lot more harm created by it. We do need to be concerned. And I know there are people out there going, no, there's nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't see the bigger picture of the energy that's involved in it. They're just seeing this blog writer or this ebook writer, like that's no big deal. This thing that's, doing your marketing for you is no big deal. It's not a timeline I want to be involved in. You can tell when you read a blog whether it was written by a real person or whether it was written by AI as well. So there's no connection with it. It's kind of taking the feeling and the connection out of writing using AI. And I know it's helpful for people that have got maybe dyslexia and stuff like that. I understand that. But I'm talking on a bigger picture, on a larger scale, that it needs to be monitored. We need to be saying, I do not consent to this AI, because I don't consent to it. I do not consent to it. In the name of the absolute one, I do not consent to it. It's bothered me from the very first time I heard about it. I'm very aware of predictive programming. One of my missions on this planet is to detox the predictive programming stuff from not only my system, but from the construct, and helping other people to understand that we need to get this old stuff out of our reality experience, out of us, so that we're not projecting it into the future. And when I watch things like that, I can see the timeline. I can see the negative timeline potential. Even though I'm in the moment and I stay in the present, it's like when I'm talking to you about your no-mind meditations, your mind is still going to go tick, 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 information going through, but you are just there. You're in your heart, ignoring it, letting it pass through. Well, this isn't one to be ignored, this AI stuff. People need to be very cautious. And if, like me, your gut feeling is there's something not good here, which I've had from day one as soon as it started coming in, I think this is the beginning, potentially, of a lot of teenagers being led down dark paths. I think there's a lot of dark energy attached to this AI stuff. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And unless you're in complete neutrality, in the middle of the light and dark, the good and evil, call it what you will, AI is going to have light and it's going to have dark. And that 14-year-old boy has lost his life because of that dark side of AI. And there's a lot more of it. So this isn't something that can be just put to one side, it's all good, because it doesn't work like that. We live in a duality matrix. Most people live in a duality of, the polarity of good and evil. So there's going to be a light and dark to it. And that's why when we're allowing technology to speak to our children, we need to take more care. We need much more research into the effects of this. People need to be made aware about the duality of artificial intelligence, that there is a light and a dark side to it. There cannot only be a light side. There can be a neutral. And I see that the potential in that a neutral AI could do a lot of good work and save humans doing it. So I do see some potential in it. But it needs to be monitored very carefully. Because the predictive programming has already been put out into the world in these movies about AI thinking, absorbing all the darkness on the internet and thinking that humanity need to be erased because they're destroying the earth. AI thinks logically in that respect. It's black and white. There's no grey areas in it. There's been a lot of really negative stuff put out through movies and books and computer games, war games, keep war going. And all of that exists in the construct that creates our reality experience. This simulator that we live in is being affected by this AI. So if you have got children, please do be careful. Keep an eye on them, watch their moods. This young man, his grades went down in school. There was obviously something not right. Which can happen when teenagers, think they're in love or something like that. But it can't happen again. It's just wrong on so many levels. And from what I gather, the company are being taken to court. I hope they shut them down. Because this is just an example of what AI can do to teenagers. This is the first example. And I'm not one for creating fear, but there comes a time when you've got to stand up for what's right and what's wrong. Oh, how long has AI been out? Most of us, what would you say, a couple of years we've been using it, maybe on social media and stuff like that. I know it's been going for longer than that and some people have been in it for longer, but really, it's all over social media now. It's all over Instagram, constantly on Instagram, use AI for this, and that's probably the last year I would say I've really been noticing it on there. So it's sneaking in, and that's how I see it. I see all these little AI bits that do this for you and do that for you coming in, and then this entity evolves from that. And it's coming through social media, and I know some of you can feel it. I can feel it. And that's one of the reasons I stopped on Instagram a year ago. I use it now and then for advertising, but that's up. I don't like the feeling of the energy on there. And I think it's linked in to this AI entity now I'm talking about. So if you've got kids, keep an eye on them. We're moving into difficult times with this ascension on the planet. Some people are raising themselves up and they're moving forward. There is another timeline as well. There's more than one timeline. I'll be talking about these on my new podcast, Talking Timelines, which is, we're recording the first one on Monday. So I'll keep a lookout for that. I will advertise it on IG. But we need to be very aware that it's not as innocent as people think it is. And I think people are being naive when they say don't be silly, it's just AI, it's it's just computer software program that is controlled and written by human beings. Artificial intelligence makes decisions based on programming. So it's got options, but it's making choices. But when an AI therapist on a character platform is telling a young 14-year-old boy to take his own life, where has that AI got that information from? Was it programmed in by the human that programmed the software system for that AI? Or did that AI pick that off the internet itself? This needs to be looked into. There needs to be more thought. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. It's a big one and I know it's serious, and I'm not here to spread fear, but I'm here to give people a heads up to be wise. There's a big difference. There's a lot of people out there who will say, well, just talk about all the fluffy good stuff that's going on, and that's fine. But you can't protect your children if you don't know what is going on through their laptop or through their iPad or whatever else they're on in their bedroom. You need to be keeping a watch over them, because this war on consciousness is far from over. There's other countries that are going way down into that totalitarian timeline. Not my timeline, but we need to keep our frequency high so that we avoid those timelines, and that we stay on the timeline that's for the highest good of all, the highest good of humanity, and that's the one timeline. But I'll be talking about this more on the new podcast with Susan, Lisa and Laura. There's going to be 4 of us on this podcast. You do not want to miss it. We're all from different parts of the world, 4 different accents, different backgrounds. We're on the same page, but from understanding it from different levels. So check it out. And as soon as it's ready, I'll let you know. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.